just quickly before we get to Matthew Richardson, some more bad news for Carlton. We reported yesterday that Charlie Curnow is going to miss 3 to 4 months because he slipped on a tile and fractured his patella. Today, Carlton have released that their leading goal kicker from last year, Harry McKay, is struggling with a groin problem. So he's got soreness. He will remain on a modified program until after Christmas. So there you go. Your two key pillars up forward, McKay and Curnow, both on restricted programs this pre-season. So David Teague wouldn't be all that happy with that. So we'll keep a close eye on that for all the Carlton fans. Now let's talk Port Adelaide. Because last night they launched an immersive history website for their 150th anniversary. It's a dedicated website which outlines the club's history ahead of this very important year, 2020. Matthew Richardson is the Executive General Manager, and he joins us now. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mark. How are you, Stephen?
Good on you,
Very
Richo.
well, thank you. Tell us about this website.
Yeah, so as you said, last night we launched since1870.com.au, which is probably the best way to describe it is a digital history of the club. It's quite it's interactive, it's concise, so it's certainly not War and Peace, and it's also mobile responsive. So it depends on if you're looking on your mobile phone or on your computer. There are carousels of images that roll through. And it really captures the 150-year journey of the Port Adelaide Football Club in quite a concise way. You can sort of work through it in sort of, 5 or 10 minutes quite easily.
It's broken down into eras, Matty?
It is, that's right. There's an introduction and it covers, I guess, the early years from 1870 to 1914. And there's some amazing images throughout. A lot of the images a lot of us haven't actually seen before. So there's some fantastic images of really the early days of the Port as well and what Port Adelaide looked like, and then into the war years, and it tells a bit about the story of Bob Quinn in the war, into the 50s, and of course the golden era of Port Adelaide, then I guess the journey of Port Adelaide into the AFL, and then the more recent years at Adelaide Oval and of course Young One Stadium over in Shanghai.
Now, I was a Port Adelaide fan growing up, Matthew, but my sort of memory takes me back to about Russell Ebert playing at Port Adelaide. What I love, we've all heard about Bob Quinn, we've heard about John Cale and Jeff Motley. Just some of the images of those guys as young men, they just look sensational, and just learning more about those guys was one of the things I enjoyed most.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the great things about technology these days is we've got an amazing group of people and volunteers who have been working on on this project, and one of the things they've been able to do is work with Chris Halbert at the SNFL, who has been terrific in providing a lot of the images, and they've actually been able to improve them, and some of the clarity on the images going back as far as the 1800s, 1900s of some of the legends of the club, some of the imagery of Adelaide Oval. When you consider, we're playing there now, this fantastic modern stadium, one of the best stadiums in the world, and you look at Port Adelaide playing other SNFL teams back there in the 1800s and 1900s, and that's one of the things that this website does do. It captures the images brilliantly, but also it tells the story in a really concise way. There's some fantastic quotes in there from people like Sir Donald Bradman, I think Victor Richardson, Mike Sheehan. So it's really got something for everyone. But like I said, it's not a detailed history. It's really just a journey of the club through all of those eras, trying to capture the key stories and the moments through that, and then that'll flow into a number of more detailed projects a little bit later, which we'll release, including a really detailed book, which will really get into some of the detail around the stories.
Congratulations with it. And well, Matty, I'm not a Port man, but I did. I spent a lot of time and went through it. It is for all football fans. It's probably a first for any AFL club or football club for that matter to do something like that since 1870.com.au. So well done for that. For even people like myself that can spend the time and do it, you've actually hit the mark there. A feature-length doco, is that still to come?
Yeah, it is. That's right. In the new year, we're doing some work on there'll be a couple of documentaries, so stay tuned for those. But I think to your previous point, Rowie, one of the great things about it is this is not just the story of Port Adelaide. It's the story of South Australian football.
It is.
And yes, it might be through the lens of through the lens of Port Adelaide, of course, as we celebrate that 150 years. But it's absolutely about the story and the some of the great images of South Australian footy. And I think that's one of the things that, just football people and sports people who are sports fans will really enjoy about the website, absolutely, but also some of the things that we've got to come.
Okay. We've got a number of texts quickly asking, when's the Collector's 150th year book going to be released?
Yeah, that's coming in. I was just looking through another draft of it a couple of days ago, and that will be definitely before Christmas. So I'd encourage everyone to put that on their Christmas shopping list. All the members will have an opportunity to pre-order that. They'll be able to personalise it, and they won't have it in their hands by Christmas, but they'll certainly be able to order it. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully the next few weeks we'll be releasing that.
Well, Richo, to your team, your club, since1870.com, get on it, have a look. You've nailed it. It's fantastic. Well done. Congratulations.
Terrific. Thanks for your support, guys.
There you go. Executive General Manager Matthew Richardson talking about...
Spend time and do it.
The new immersive website, as you said. It's called since1870.com.au. Go on there. The photos are magnificent. Some of the all-time great South Australian players and, of course, Port Adelaide legends, all there and all in crystal clear clarity. We're going to take a break. Still plenty to come on the FIVEaa Sports Show.